It's a lovely day, Mel. How you been?
Good morning, Tony. I'm good.
Hey, it's a lovely day. It's a little chilly outside, but we need this good weather. For all the lovers out there, they
Mhm.
need this weather. You know, this is why men get married,
Oh,
and this is why women run from man.
now
I
I
know.
think this the season when women run to men.
Boy, I don't know much men complaining about how the women running from them.
Yeah, that's in the summer because it's hot. The thermostat ain't too functional.
Well,
But when the cold weather kick in, they run to them. So they
listen.
need to forget what happened yesterday and stay in the present and
If
look
you
to
think
see what the cold weather gonna bring.
if you think so, all you got to do is get some kind of scope and go into hundreds and hundreds of thousands of houses here and see what happened at 6 o'clock. Only woman running in the kitchen. The woman up in the kitchen. Man still in
Well,
bed.
you'll be talking to them in the morning, of course, on a work morning. You would expect that, especially if there are kids in the house.
Man, look, they're struggling to get out of bed. The woman running or going over to do. She got up and running. All the woman in the kitchen. All the woman doing it. But that's fine. But,
That's the
but
daily grind, they call that.
yeah, that's the daily grind. But boy, listen here. It is so beautiful to be in love. It is so beautiful. People don't believe love cover multiple things. Love is one of the greatest things. But I'm not talking love today because that's my show on
Talking
Sunday.
Sunday, eh?
Yeah, that's my show on Sunday.
Mm.
Uh, where I can really, really go into depths into that. But so what we have in front of us today, what we doing, what we saying today, what we talking about today.
All or nothing.
All or nothing, all or
Mm.
nothing. I think it's time for us to actually, look around. I did a little census on some stuff, and it's almost compatible to our show. But I did the census. I I'm not afraid. I can call the names. I did it purposely for the last 2 weeks. So I went into 5 to 6 stores, and I can tell you, all or nothing is correct. I've been into the first store that I went to. I went. This is true, in the Bahamas. Better believe me, I did this personally because I was getting ready to do my little Airbnb, and getting ready to. So I had to buy sheets, spread, bed, microwave, toast, the whole gamut. And so through doing this, I went in a couple of stores and I was shocked. I was shocked and amazed. There's few things shocked me. One of the things is that I call the names now. I went into Quality Home Center, right at Prince Charles, right? I went into there, and it was amazing. I walked into the door. There was a guy sitting down right by the door, Quality Home, and his approach to me was shocking. When I say shocking, because when I walked, he did his security or the door check or something. He's sitting at the door, and he said to me, "Good afternoon." I was shocked. That's the most shocking thing because when you walk into stores, people don't say nothing. Like, people be so busy doing what they're doing. And he just said, "Good afternoon, how's your day?" And I thought that was just, for me, that started me on a roll, like, "Hey man, I good, I good, I good, I good." But what was all amazing, I went in, I took a right. When I took a right, there was this girl who approached me and says, um, "Can I help you? You looking for anything special?" I can't believe this guy. I couldn't believe the service. I, it was shocking in Bahamian stores. That was just shocking to me.
Wow.
And so I thought it would end there. But there was this bright guy who followed me. But he said, "No, just tell me what you're looking for, and I can." And I start thinking, well, must be nobody in the store, or this must be special. You think you start thinking funny, like, well, they tracking me or they following me. But that was shocking. And when I left there, I went east because I wanted to go to a friend of mine east, and I went to Wendy's, and I was on the line, and I was on the line so long. But here the kicker. After being on the line for about, let's say, half an hour for a sandwich, and I got to the vendor, and they said to me, "Pull further up, like pull further up." And so I pulled further up, to let the other people go, because what I must see order must see take long. You wouldn't believe what happened. I was sitting there and they forget me. So I blow after about 15 minutes. I blow to say, "Hey, hey." And they say, "Oh, the order coming now." And then they bring the order. And guess what happened? When they brought my order, guess what happened?
What happened?
It was the wrong order. Randy's right here, print shots. Randy, right here, the print shots. I had a miss, and I tell you, that's when I make up my mind. I said, "Man, I gotta test this different place, see what's going on." And I just started to, like, I go on from there. Every place I go, I like start checking my service and the service of the place. I've been in stores where people talking, and they ain't check for me. They ain't just talking, and I stand there, they talking, they talking, they talking, they're talking. Understand? I just don't understand. I can tell you, I don't remember label PEC. One teller on, line full of people, one teller. I couldn't believe it. One teller. And that one teller, when I get there, she keep asking me my name. She said, "What's your name? What's your name?" I say, "Everett." She say, "Edward or Edward?" I say, "Everett." She say, "Spell it." I had to write it down. This was go through. So, and I said 2 weeks. So I said, I gotta watch it. So I started to go to. So I just now I frequently go to Western Hardware. That's my favorite store, right? So because I life with key, that's where I work. I go in and go in and go in. That's where I get my supplies. Walking going to Western Hardware. There's just sit right in the counter. They just sit there, right? But I tell you what, you walk in there and they'll say, you say, "Good afternoon," and two will answer you. One never answer you. I go in there every day. So I will go in the store. The only thing I don't like about them, they're kind of nice, but this is a store. Always don't have what you want. They always when you go in there, and I understand. I understand that they are hardware. They have they will have you example, I ran in there for joint compound and they only have I went for a pound of joint compound, small bucket of joint compound. They only have the 5 gallon. I gone back the day before. I gone for sheetrock. They only have half inch. You go to it's like you go to everything. You go there for plumbing parts. You got this size and you got that size. It's like I don't understand how, but that's how that one will operate. So the service is okay, but they really don't have for a store that is in the West and that you need. They never got this and never got that and never got this and never got. And then my greatest one was my water bill. Walk into the water corporation. The lady says to me, I were next, right? So as I next, after being on the line, I walk to the window. She say, you didn't hear the bell? Say, because if you next, I would ring the bell. I said, miss, now, hold on. So I don't understand. She said, well, you have to wait till I ring the bell. So I goes back on the line. Just I get on the line, she ring the bell. Bing! so, so you gotta wait for the bell. She said, you got this. You got this, man.
I see a cross spectrum of levels of service and prioritizing of customers. Some are there for themselves, others are there for customer service. And then some
let me give
feel
you
lost.
something we're gonna. Let me give you something that's gonna shock you before I get off this. I've been to a couple other stores. I've been to a couple of stores. I checked this. I even checked this as I've been to the gas station. I've been to the gas station, the one there, right there by the mall, Town Center Mall, Rubis. There's a gentleman. He wanted to go in the store for me. He cleaned my window. If I leave him a little more, he'd clean. He had a conversation with me. It's an elderly guy. He had a conversation with me. he served me quickly. He cleaned my, listen, a service, but he's waiting for a tip. And I understand that. He asked me if I want to go. He could go inside because so I understand, but that was service. So I had to tip him $5 because he come to work. He on a hustle. In these government agency, now the worst one, the worst of the worst. Let me give you the worst of the worst. I goes up to National Insurance. National Insurance tell me it's 3:30 and I need to come tomorrow because they shut down a certain time.
They're like the bank, eh?
Yeah, they shut down a certain time, and then what I need to be done, it would take too long, and I ain't get it. Pay for it today because the cash are closed at 4 o'clock, and they run on with all kind of crap. A government job. Who's supposed to work 9 to 5? And then so I go back the next day, and I intentionally this time now document everything in my brain because now after what I gone the day before, I said, so I went upstairs to the lady who they say is my charge of my account. Let me tell you something. for about an hour. She gave me immaculate service. I couldn't believe it.
That's good.
So she said, okay, and that's not, she sorted out, she said, I need to write a letter. Da, da, da. She told me all the things, and I wrote the letter, blah, blah, blah. I give her, and she did everything, and she was awesome. I can't remember her name. If I only remember, it's a dark lady with glasses and Foxhill upstairs. Okay. She gave me a service like never before. I was so appreciative. She called, she find out the information I wanted. She said, no, stay right there, Mr. Williams. And she walk around, going to the manager, whatever she had to do. She come back. She said, this the figure, this, if this there, this, that, everything. But guess what happened? So I'm in a high now. I done saying, yesterday I've been here and these people make me mad, blah, blah, blah. I get downstairs. The lady downstairs, who was the cashier, she said, I go into the cashier. She said, did you read the sign? So I said, what sign? So when I saw the sign says, wait for the bell ring. So I stepped back, That time, in me, I cussing, you can't cuss, but I cussing. So
especially with that notice up there say don't abuse.
So
Stop.
I would check. They got all them signs. They got about tear everything down. I like they just downside. So anyway, so check this out. So she waited while she was doing some stuff, calculating. So I waited. Must be for 10 minutes. Just waited. That time 4-5 people behind me. So when I get to the cashier, she ring the bell. I get there. She says, you paying a cash or card? So I say, I paying cash. She said, it might be too late to pay for cash. So I say, miss, between me and you and God right here, you ain't want to start this because I irritated, security and everybody. I ready to like. I see. She said and she telling me is because it's close to the time. The same foolishness the day before, for it to, I said, miss, let me tell you something. I said, listen to me. Just like this. I said, I got the prime minister, the minister on speed dial. And I also got the chairman, which was Philip McKenzie. I say, you don't want no part of me today. I say, because trust me, you can take my money today. Oh, yeah. So she say, She said, let me see. I can do it for you. So I say, all right. But then, after she did it, before I leaving, she started saying, well, it's just it'll make it complicated for me. So I say, honey, I know it might be close to the time, but this sign say you're closed 4 o'clock. That might try to be cheeky. But at the end of the day, I left there. Okay, because the service I got upstairs
kind of balance it out.
Yeah, and then I reason, me and her come to a reason. She did it, so we come now. I just want my stuff done. But the question is, and the answer to me, always now, do Bahamian want to work? Do Bahamian care about service? Do Bahamian love Bahamian?
Or you gotta have the high people on speed dial in order to get service.
Exactly. So in the Bahamas today, you might wonder why the professional people don't hire Bahamians. You might why you might why Life and Key have all foreigners now. You may wonder why all the offshore banks, before bringing their own people in,
Efficiency,
yeah. You might wonder
customer
also, you
service.
might wonder why all the construction companies want to hire foreigners. I
Mm.
mean, foreigners from the top to the bottom. The laborers, they bring in their own engineers, they bring in, because Bahamian seems like they arrive, they're the best set of people in the world, and so you got to worship them. They live in the Bahamas, and so they don't need to work. So you need them, you know.
I see the image of people perceiving that they're self-employed whilst on the payroll of
Yeah,
somebody else.
yeah. Yeah, and I going through this, and I telling you, and it's more. I say you hold, it's more. I can give you more. I going into Wendy's, um, or East Street down south, and the service was okay.
Hmm.
But when I got the sandwich, it was garbage. Like somebody just throw it together, burn it up, and give it to me. Bop. They were mad, and I was the one who get catch when they burn the egg. This is what we don't have. No,
Right.
no, no. No, let me be let me be real to Bahamians, and let me talk about ministry and government. Let me talk about government. Let me tell you why I believe for the last 50 years we had the same set of people running the ministries. Same set of people, ain't changed. We had political party, somebody will retire. When the political party come in, they bring that same old person on and retire. So you had the same set of people been doing it for 50 years.
So
70 on the ground,
it's
70
the
on the job.
cycle. It's the cycle,
Yeah.
depending on which box, which color box you in. You
Mm.
get pull out and you get put back in and pull out and put back in. It's cycle, friends, family, and lovers.
So there is no growth. Yeah. There's no
Wow.
growth. There's no growth. There's no change. The same way. Let me give you a good breakdown. These people put so much bureaucracy into the system. You know why they did it? So they can stay alive.
Maintain control.
Yeah, so they could stay in power.
Yeah.
You,
And,
mm,
and I don't know if you've heard it, but basically, bureaucracy breeds mediocrity.
hmm
Mediocrity. And
yeah,
so that is why we're seeing all the mediocre, poor public service, where it's all about the employer, but not the customer or the
mhm.
service users.
Yeah. We need to. We look. Let me say this to you. See this. See, people talk, but I talk reality. I check before I open my big mouth. Let me tell you what happened. Joe Fountain Road, right here, Joe Fountain Road, where all the people come to Joe Fountain Road in the morning, go home in the night. They
Hmm.
come from east. So you got all the people at Palm Key. You got the foreigners and the rich, all who live in the east, who live in these gated community, Treasure Cove. You got all of them, all of the foreigners, the Bahamian, the legals, everybody ride that road in the morning. Whatever, all the business places. That road being dig up for months. Okay, now my car fall in a hole. My wheel, I had to buy a new tire. Right? You see how many other people I see this happen to? So there's no accountability. So when my tire drop in the hole, you should be paying it. And that's what should happen. Then you'll fix the road. See, there is no, in the ministry, there's so much hands that got to go through to get it done. Bureaucracy, because everybody got to get their kickback and everybody got to get their, everybody will be in charge. So when I ready, no, tomorrow.
Yeah,
There's
but should it be that way when you are paying licensing of your vehicle,
there you go.
and if you're not paying it, you're being fined.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the monies that is generated from the licensing and insurance of vehicles should somehow, should the insurance company keep all the money that you pay for the insurance? Should the insurance company not be paying a portion of what they collect into the government to maintain the roads,
Mm-hmm.
along with all that the persons that are paying to have vehicles, and the road, the evidence is there. When
See,
you
it
look
would,
at the amount of vehicle and
boy.
traffic. So what's the problem?
Yeah. What's the problem? But you know what the problem is? It stopped to one guy desk, and
We need to stop that garbage.
he going on vacation. So when he come, nobody can touch that till he come back because that's his project. So when he go on vacation for 2 weeks, and when he come back, he start the paperwork all over again. You say where he was at? Then they gotta have meetings. Then they gotta have organization coming. Then they gotta find the right person who's their friend to give the job to, who they know ain't got the equipment, got to borrow some equipment to get it done. See, and then after he's done with him, he got to send it downstairs to the guy who can carry it out. And the guy who can carry it out and send it back upstairs because he say, but this ain't right. This one dot in here, you need to correct this one dot before you start. But that one dot got to go to 6 different departments before that dot can move. That is what go. See, let me tell you my final analysis now of all of this. Government, I'm talking PLPF, and I'm talking about government corporations. Government corporations need to fire majority, the slow, no productive worker. See, we need to cut our government system down to the lowest term. And we need to privatize most everything. We need to take it out of government. See, we need to privatize most of this corporation so they can get the privatization can get the best talent.
Timely action.
Get things done because time is money for them. And so they need to privatize. I'm convinced they need to privatize road traffic. They need to privatize road traffic as a whole. You know, I just get my new vehicle, so I could tell you, oh, I didn't want to go to that one. I leave that. But you know what? Road traffic improved better than they were. That's improved a little bit. There used to be chaos. But road traffic still needs to improve tremendously. I go to one building, I come across the road, I pay, I got to go back. Yeah, all that foolishness can be stopped. They need to computerize all that from the guy who does the inspection. All he has to do is have a little computer. Instead of writing on a piece of paper, see, people, time is money. All you have to do is put in all the figures outside, get a little computer, put in everything outside, no paperwork, everything. And it goes straight into the main office, pay, and come out. This you go in the back, and this one filling out this form, and then you got to go sit there and wait, and then you got to go inside. All that is bureaucracy. That is only to keep people employed. That's it. If you computerize it one time, you ain't need all these people. That is to keep people in job. So now what happened?
But
You get
even
the
with
best
the
talent.
computer,
You get the best, but you can get the best talent.
because there are some aspects of the whole process that is computerized, but
Mhm.
they seem not to want to let go of the paper.
Yeah.
It is computerized.
Why? Why? But why you still writing on paper?
Not only that, though, when you go and you give them your situation, why you're there. Like for me, when I went to do mine
I
this
just
year,
did mine last
I
week.
wanted to transfer from one island to the next.
Mm.
The guy asks, why are you here today? To renew or transfer? I said, both. Time as I get to go and pay, I had to ask the lady, so what about the transfer? And she said, oh, there's nothing here to indicate that you wanted to transfer. And I'm like, really? And then they explain, oh, well, you could keep it until 5 years. If you don't go back, then you could change the plate. And I'm like, well, I hope y'all and the police are on the same line. And when I go on the road with my island plate, nobody pull me on the side and say, oh, you in Nassau, this plate is for such and such an island. You need to synchronize it. And of course, they don't give you nothing in writing. And
No.
I know that situation about nothing in writing because that's a situation where I lost monies again
Mhm.
because I queried something for years and years until finally I decided, God, this stress is too much. But this money and nobody wants to come to your aid, just let it ride.
Mm.
Let it ride. It's a loss. And
But
some
Commonwealth Bank,
can
I,
feed.
Commonwealth Bank will not take my money. I don't care. I will go to every court. I will not let nobody take my money, my hard-earned money I work for, and then tell me a story. But
Trickery. Mm-hmm.
no, sir. No, sir. See, listen to me. Listen to me. These things, what I talk about, these behemoths don't want to work. They don't work for you. They see,
And they have to protect the organization that they work for.
they
So
don't have
they lie and they give you a different story and a different
every time. They're
scenario.
lying. And
And the buck fall with them. And so that they won't be penalized. Well, for as long as I've been dealing with this particular situation, they fire one person. So for me to now go through the process of having the courts call this person and call that one and the next,
let
it's
me tell you something.
frustration. It's
Listen to me something.
frustration. It
Let me
ain't
tell
worth
you
the
something.
stress because
Let me
I
tell
will
you
pay
something.
more in medical bill
I
than
agree. But this country is allowing these little stinking banks to thief people money. See, the point is this.
not only the banks, the
Wait,
insurance
I
companies,
know, but
credit
the point is
unions,
this.
everybody.
See, service is a bug out. See, the point is this. If you call me in and you sit me down and you could show me where the mistake was made or where whatever it was,
Hmm.
I might walk out there thinking, okay, I can leave that alone because I lost. But what they try to do is like get you at the bank. They don't like, well, I got a lot of things going on and I gotta so we can that's not my problem. That's not my problem. My problem is you solve my problem. As a customer, solve my problem. Because guess what? If Mr. So and so to walk in there,
That's it.
you would have gone to the top to get it resolved. You would have find people to resolve it. See, black people gotta learn to stop this mentality because if you white, they'll get that problem solved.
Mm.
If you had money there to solve that problem. See, but they don't understand that it's the small man keep these banks alive.
Mm-hmm.
And
And
this is
and
funny
and and
because they
and
take from
and
small man. The
and
dollar.
they hide behind,
Mhm.
where's your documentation? Did you
Yes.
get this in writing?
Yeah.
And no matter how much you say, no, this is, and you present them with papers of the process that you went through, and they was like, oh well, if you could bring this, mind you, give them.
All the documents.
You went through the whole process, but
And
God help us all in this
and
country.
and because the
Oh,
person you're
and
dealing
and
with is
there's nobody to protect the interests of the small man. That's the
nobody.
key. Nobody has it. So it's like you lose all and you end up with nothing.
Yeah. And see,
And
listen to me.
you are a upstanding citizen. Mind you, it's like you paying for the people who get their money and never pay, and they can't get it back.
Let
So
me tell you.
you, who is an upstanding citizen, who meet your obligation, they walk all over you.
Yeah. But I can go on a limb and say this. And God forbid, these same people playing with people's mind. One day,
Hmm.
somebody can get a little crazy in this town.
Oh,
And they don't understand this and blow up the whole bank
not
with their
only
money.
that, Tony,
They
not
gotta
only that,
understand this is getting a little serious. You can't be playing with people's livelihood.
but I say when you have the responsibility of reconciling a situation and you know that the customer is placed in a disadvantaged position, but you do nothing about it, watch for your time
Yes.
because it's gonna come.
Oh, what goes around come. And then you don't want nobody to do it to you. Let me give you, before we close something.
Mhm.
Let me give you. See, you has to in life, if you're not a person who care, stay home. Stay home. For God's sake, stay home. Don't go into
Go
social
and do
business.
something that you enjoy, but
Yes,
don't
go
go
bake
take your
cake,
frustration
cook
and
food.
absence and anger
Yeah,
out on innocent people.
clean your house because it's so many people are getting hurt. I leave my job. I work for myself. I leave my job to pay you government your money, and I got to take my lunch hour, which is an hour, to pay you my money. You don't care about my hour.
Mhm.
And obviously you don't pay me, you don't care about me paying because if I walk out the door, you don't pay. So
Because you'll
government,
be penalized. At the end
yeah,
of the day, it's your loss.
yeah. So government, let me say this to you. You gotta fix this because you want your taxes to be paid. You want your national insurance to be paid. You want your light bill to be paid. You want your road traffic. You want your money. You want this is how you pay your salary. And people you put in place don't want to take the money. I understand this kind of crazy. So I say to you today, when you get a chance, cut this government um this whole because every time I hear now the union making noise, anyhow, they fighting for money every day. You need to cut some of these people. Friend politics, put it aside. You need to get rid of some of these people. These people are not even coming to work. So the public can get service. You know how much people who don't show up to work? You know how much people call in sick? You know how much people go to the doctors and get sick slip and be on the plane all about. So Bahamians who don't want to work, you need to let them go home. And you need to cut the system down. You need to privatize some of these things. Privatize road traffic. Privatize. You're privatizing the prison. People around the world privatizing prisons. So if you can privatize a prison, you can privatize road traffic. Privatize the process. but you could keep the money.
Make it more efficient.
Yeah, put a private privatize all these things.
And make people accountable.
Yeah,
And also remember, when people are paying for a service, they should receive
exactly.
what
And
they're paying for.
there will be
Not
accountability.
mediocre, and not as if you're doing people a favor. You are being paid because partially what I pay for my service is paying for you rendering the service to me.
Mm. When you look at it, and then we can close. When you look at it, you go to apply the BEC for a thing. A guy got to come out and inspect. This guy, that could take a process of 3, 4 to 5 weeks. Why? 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 Why?
Because it's policy. Not because it isn't the manpower or anything like that, because it's policy.
But let
And
me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question.
and you gotta wait.
But
You
let me.
gotta wait. You need it, so wait.
Why do a guy need to come out and somebody just leave the place 2 weeks ago? You rent the place 2 weeks ago. The person leave. The new tenant coming in, right? Why would you need take so long to get that person light turn on?
Because I got the power, I got the control. I tell you when I am going to do it. It ain't
Foolishness.
about you, it's about me and the
It's,
power that I exert
it's
over you.
bureaucracy, foolishness. And you got to sit on this line and you go to a process. They need to make it smoother. If they privatize it, you want to go through that. See, because people ain't working behind the scene.
Mm.
So it's time that we do what we got to do. Privatize some of these things. Let some of these people who don't want to work stay home. I'm tired. I can't do no more. Anyway, even if my sister, let's stay home. My niece, let's stay home. Because they learn, when they get a job now, they appreciate it. Anyway, we close on that today. We done rumble and beat the hammers up. Anyway, but I still love you all. And I wish, before I leave, I wish somebody give me the job. What they call those people who go around and shop and write reports. What they call them?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sound
They need
like
to hire. They need to hire me.
quality.
Yeah, hire me to go inside these business establishments so I can stress the people out and see what they can say and what they
Yeah.
can do, and report on the nastiness and the dirtiness and the bad service. Anyway, have a good day. Well, that's a good little job for me and you. Anyway, have a good day.
That's true.
Good. Yeah, we could do quality service
Yeah.
and find and all these corporations and all these offices and shops for a small fee. We should have done. That's a good business for us to get into. Anyway,
So we'll see you on Sunday.
it's
And
lit.
at that point, we will
Love.
continue.
Anyway, Mel and Tony, have a great day. Everybody, enjoy. See you Sunday at 4. Bye-bye. Enjoy the day.